Hello, my name is Abby Hunter. I am a USCL student and artist and potter. I live in Jefferson, South Carolina and work in Lancaster, and I'm very connected to the artist community here. Today with me, I have Amiri Farris. Amiri Farris received his Master's of Fine Art in Painting with his BFA in Illustration and Graphic Design from Savannah College of Art and Design. As an artist, he is known for his dynamic, powerful artwork that combines an alluring blend of vivid colors and layered textures. His work has been featured in more than 100 exhibitions, now including our very own Lancaster County. Thank you for coming here, Amiri. What would you say was your inspiration behind the design of the mural?
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I think the inspiration that I had for the mural was to create something colorful and unique, and also just include the flora and fauna, like the different animals and things that you see while you're walking on the Greenway. So when I first came to Lancaster, I kind of, explored the area, and I really enjoyed the Greenway and how it was involved with nature and then the space that it was in. So I already created a basic design, but then I sort of changed it from the environment that I was exposed to when I came to Lancaster.
How would you say your experience was working with our volunteers in Lancaster?
Oh, I loved working with the volunteers. They were awesome. I'd say that I made a lot of new friends. As we were working on the mural. Also, the volunteers gave some input to the design of the mural. So they were, I can't remember the young girl's name, but she was like, "Oh, it would be really cool if we added a turtle because I saw a turtle earlier." So I included that. And then I think somebody said they saw a blue jay. And so I included that. So I love working with the volunteers.
What do you think murals like the one painted on Greenway say about communities or contribute to them?
Oh, so I think working with the arts in the community is a very important aspect to me being an artist. I enjoy working with the community and then having them help me on a public art project. I think it just gives them a sense of pride that they've worked on a certain section, in the mural. And then also, I think it's just cool that you can get people out to paint and work on artwork, which they may have never done. So I think a lot of people were intimidated when they started. They're like, "Oh, I don't want to mess it up." And they're like, "Oh, no, you can't mess it up. Just go in there and have fun." We did kind of like a paint by number, paint by section type of design. So once we did that, then I went back and kind of touched it up. So I just let them know, have fun and, let's work together and collaborate.
Stepping away from the mural a little bit and going back, how did you become an artist?
So I've pretty much been an artist all my life. I would say the last 10 or 20 years, I've become more of a professional artist. And then I tell people I'm kind of like a master of the arts. So I don't just do painting. Of course, I do public art, performance art, poetry. And so I think, just including all those things as an artist kind of makes me who I am as an artist, or as a creative person, I'd like to say also.
When admiring your work, I saw that many of your pieces, including the mural, incorporated paint drips. Is there a reason behind this recurring theme?
Yeah, so in my work that you can see kind of like behind me, I have some of the paint drips in this painting that I'm working on in my studio right now. But I have the paintings to show time passing on the canvas, so you can see the drip kind of start and then where it stops. So a lot of times I like to do action painting where I'm painting in front of somebody. And again, that drip captures a moment in time. And then also I use it as a design aesthetic to kind of break up the canvas. So I use a lot of positive, negative space in my artwork, and the drips help, break up that space.
What is your favorite piece of artwork that you have done?
Oh, that's a good question. I often get asked that, and I don't know. Like, I would say every new piece is my favorite piece that I create, and then I kind of get not tired of it, but once it's up in a museum or up somewhere, then I start working on another piece of artwork. So I think, yeah, everything new that I create becomes my favorite piece. But
And
but also I like to tell people this that have children, like none of my pieces are favorite. They're all out there in the world to inspire.
on your website, you refer to yourself as a teaching artist and not as an art teacher. How would you define that term?
So that is a good question. So I think I always like to teach people something, as I'm working, whether that's, being a painter or being a public artist. I think that's important to engage your audience as an artist. As I think some artists feel like they don't have to engage their audience, or that they're kind of, smarter than the audience, and then they have to figure it out. But I think, artwork should be able to reach and engage people. So everything that I do, I try to teach and, try to raise awareness, or, connect with the viewer.
And since who would you say is your artistic influences or important teachers throughout your life?
Let's see. So my artistic influences, and say, that's a good question. So I really like the pop era. So like, artists like Basquiat and Andy Warhol, and then like, newer artists, like Banksy, just because he's kind of out there doing unique things, and pushing the boundaries. And, he's also a household name. Another artist I like is Mr. Brainwash. He's kind of doing the same thing. So I like the artists that kind of reach large audiences, but then still conveying a message, in their work.
And going back to the mural, how do you feel about the outcome?
Oh, I think the outcome was great. I really enjoyed, the week that I spent there. Again, met a lot of people, and, I think everyone had fun working on the mural. And I think the overall design and the artwork, turned out great. I think most people that came by were very happy. And I think one of the things that was unique that someone said, was the area where we were painting on was like the least favorite part of the Greenway, and then now that's like their favorite part. So that really, like touched me. Oh, that's so sweet that you would say that, or I was able to change the environment with the public art.
And as an artist with this experience with working with a bunch of the people in Lancaster, what would you say your takeaway was after this week?
Oh, I think it's great. Again, I love working with the community. You asked me about being a teaching artist. Again, I think it's good to make those connections with the community. Again, I think a lot of artists are not that involved a lot of times with the community. Like, you just go to a gallery, a museum, and you see their piece, and you're like, oh, that's nice, and you really love it. But you get a different understanding of art, when you actually work with the artist, and, it becomes a collaborative effort.
And what would your advice be for emerging artists?
I would say if you're an emerging artist, just, be original, first of all. Don't try to copy off of somebody. I would say also to, get your work out there wherever you can. I think this is a great time for artists because, when I started, you would have to go to New York or LA and work in a big gallery. But now there's all the different, social media that you can get out there. I know a lot of my collectors and fans are like, when are you going to get on TikTok? You know, because they were like, oh, that'll get you out there. And then also you can get so many more followers and things like that. So again, make sure that you're putting your work on social media. Don't be just storing your work under your bed or, having a sketchbook somewhere, share it with many people. And then also try to be around other creative people, because those are going to be, your cheerleaders and your influencers. So it's always good, because I know with artists, a lot of times people are discourage artists, like, oh, why do you want to be an artist, or why do you want to be a creative person? So I think the more that you're around a great environment, which I think you are, at the university, for instance, the stronger it'll make you as an artist and a creative person.
And this is the last question, and probably the most daunting, but what does it mean to you to be creative?
Oh, that's so daunting. I don't want to answer that. I think to be creative is just, getting out there and doing anything and everything that you want to share with the world. So, it's not just painting, it's not just photography, it's not just dance. You could do writing, you could do, social media connections and things like that. So I think anything that you can get out there and, break out of the box and get people to think differently is creative.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Amiri, and special thanks to the Lancaster County Council of the Arts for bringing in Amiri to paint the mural at the Lindsay Pettus Greenway.
Oh, yeah, and again, thanks for having me. And for everybody that I worked with, I had a great time. Sorry I couldn't be there in person, but like I said, I'm in my studio now getting ready for some upcoming exhibits that are opening up this week. So I'll see you. And again, thanks for having me.